Hello and welcome to Superpower Gaming. I'm your host, Kevin Castley, and in this video, we're going to be covering the Savages of Cymiae from the Discordant Stars unofficial fan expansion of Twilight Imperium 4th edition. So this is a wacky faction. We're going to talk about these guys here, and of course, we got their faction colors there, red and orange in the background. We got blue too, but I only have two main lights. So, we're going to go with those guys here. They're pretty red and orange though, just looking at them. Now they have some, really, really wild abilities and stuff. So we're going to talk about these guys. Of course, be sure to subscribe here for Superpower Gaming. I do all kinds of gaming content here. We do video games and now board games here as well. And of course, you can do these guys on Tabletop Simulator too. So yeah, we got some DEF CON videos, got some Fortnite. We're going to have some Civilization rolling out. I really like Twilight Imperium, probably like the best board game ever made in my view. So let's talk about these guys here, because this is interesting. Now, of course, as you know, I don't actually have the game yet. It's coming soon. Hopefully we'll have that within a month or so. But I wanted to talk about these guys because guess what? There's just not that much Discordant Stars content out there. If you're into Twilight Imperium, you want a faction guide, right? Well, who you can go to? You can go Superpower Gaming, and we're going to give you some advice in the rundown here on what's good, what you might want to do with these guys if you have the privilege of getting to play Discordant Stars, Twilight Imperium. So here we go. This is the Savages of Cymiae. So they already look really cool. They're a 3 commodity faction. Okay, that's mid, but let's talk about these guys. So they start with 1 carrier. They start with 1 destroyer. They start with 1 dread. They start with 2 fighters, and they start with 3 infantry. Okay, that's kind of underwhelming. I like the dread being thrown in there. Guess what? I also like the space dock. I should say I like the destroyer getting thrown in there too. I played most recently. I played the Argent Flight, and so I actually really kind of dig destroyers now. I think destroyers, they can be pretty potent. Their starting techs, you get 2. 2's pretty good. You get AI Dev Algo, one of my favorite techs actually. You get Neuromotivator. Neuromotivator is great because look, it's a really cool technology. Am I going to research it? Am I going to go on my way? Probably not, right? We don't usually go the green route. We usually focus on like red and blue, sometimes yellow. Having green to start, pretty good. It sets us up for Cruiser 2 really easily, right? We just need to get Sarween or something when we can get there. So the starting planets, well, they get 1 in their homeworld, which is Cymiae. It's 3 resources and 1 influence. Okay, that's mid. There's 3 commodities. That's mid. Complexity rating, moderate. Okay. And of course, we got their faction colors in the background here. So let's take a look at their faction abilities. They actually have 3 of them. So autonetic memory. When you would draw 1 or more action cards, you may draw 1 less card to either choose 1 card from the action card discard pile and add it to your hand, or place 1 infantry from your reinforcements on a planet you control. For me, I really like action cards. I played a Sorrow. I almost won as a Sorrow. A Sorrow is one of my favorite factions ever. They're so much fun to play with. And I didn't even get my faction tech out because we were really tech-starved game. Nobody was able to take tech for most of the game. And guess what? I had a lot of fun with those guys. So whenever there's factions that lean into action cards, I really like that. So the action card discard pile, well, guess what? Where are people going to be discarding? They're going to be discarding the ones that they usually use, right? The ones that are good. They're going to be discarding sabotages. They're going to be discarding direct hits. They might be discarding reactor meltdown. They might be discarding the one that lets you research a tech for 4 trade goods, I think it is. There's a lot of good stuff in the action card deck. There's also a lot of mid and bad stuff in the action card deck. The action card deck kind of got diluted with Prophecy Kings. You got 120 cards, and look, some of them are super good. A lot of them aren't. But guess what? The discard pile, you get to see what's there and you get to choose it. So the longer the game goes on, the more cards get discarded, the more automatic memory becomes powerful. In the beginning, when you're in your first phase and you draw an action card, in this case, you start with Neuromotivator, so you're already drawing two. You might not have any in the discard pile. I don't think you're going to have any in the discard pile. Well, okay, it's a free infantry to bolster your world. Okay, that's cool. That's cool too. Okay, that's cool. I mean, it'd be one thing if it was just that ability, and that would be powerful enough as the game goes on. But it lets you in that first round get a free infantry. I think I like that. It's an extra touch that adds in their favor, and I like that. Cybernetic Madness is the second faction ability. After you add an action card, oh right, I should clarify. They don't have three. They have two. They have two. I just misread that there. After you add an action card from the discard pile to your hand using your automatic memory faction ability, you must discard one action card. After you fully resolve an action card's ability text, purge that card instead of discarding it. So basically, how this works is that, you do have to discard one already from the discard pile, or rather, you must discard one. Here's the thing: you get it from the discard pile, but then after you resolve that, it's got to go away. It gets purged. So basically, what that means is it gets to be used again in the game. So it's like a fifth sabotage in theory, but then it's gone forever. Okay, well that's a fair trade-off. Okay, cybernetic madness. Okay, that's cool. Your faction promissory note, the algorithmic replication action. Choose one action card from the action card discard pile and add it to your hand, then purge this card. So that's potent. That's very powerful. Now this promissory note can only be given away once. Once they use it, it's gone. And you don't get to benefit from it. It's another player that gets to use it. They get to basically do your automatic memory ability. The problem is that's really good. You're basically handing somebody like a sabotage or reactor meltdown. It'd be really bad to trade this away and then that player uses it to destroy one of your space docks or something. There's a really good argument to be made here. Never give this away. It's actually pretty potent because guess what? You give it away in the early game and maybe they try to say to you, hey, look, I'll take this promissory note from you. I'll give you 2 trade goods for it. There's not even really much of a discard pile. It's not that powerful. Don't worry about it, bro. Do you want the trade goods? Don't do it. Don't do it because they're going to hold on to it until later in the game when the discard pile stacks up. And when it stacks up and there's good stuff there, they can just do it, get something really good, and then destroy your space dock or something, or destroy one of your ships with direct hit or something. That, like, I don't know. I wouldn't give it away. I don't think I would give that away. It's just too powerful. Faction technologies, the recursive worm. It's a yellow with 1 yellow prerequisite required. The start of your turn, you may exhaust this card to choose one non-home system other than Mechatol Rex that contains 1 or more of your units. Place 1 other player's command token from their reinforcements in that system. That's like a diplomacy, basically. That's like saying, I'm locking it down. Oh, you see somebody, I don't know, you got a Titans player next to you and they want to come and take your stuff. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna use recursive worm. It's an exhaust. I'm just gonna exhaust this thing. Boom. Now you're not going there anymore. They need to have a warfare in order to overcome that. And it's only 1 prerequisite, yellow. Look, for us there, we don't start with a yellow. But if we're going the Cruiser 2 route, which I already said would make some sense with these guys, we're researching yellow. We get Sarween. We pick up Sarween, for example. Boom. We're there. Maybe we got a tech skip. Maybe if we're playing a little more defensively, maybe we go more PDS2. Maybe we get Graviton. Well, we pick up Recursive Worm. I can see an argument for taking this. I understand it's not the most powerful thing, but in the right circumstance where you're defending yourself and they're coming at you, that can come in clutch. I think it's a pretty powerful technology. I think it really shines because it's kind of cheap. We looked at the emergency deployment with the ship rights of access. That required 3 yellow prereqs. That's tough to get. That's like the equivalent to Lightwave, basically. These guys, no, I don't know. I mean, you're basically looking at Graviton or Recursive Worm. This is arguably more defensive than Graviton. I mean, think about it. I mean, with Graviton, they're coming in. You might destroy their stuff, but they're coming in. With this, they're not coming in unless they have Warfare. Look, that's like some extra energy there. I think it's cool. I really like it. Let's look at their faction-specific units. So they have a unit upgrade faction technology, which is for their infantry. It's the Unholy Abomination 1 they start with. It's a cost of 1. Combat hits on a 5. So they're already doing more on their combat. Okay, that's cool. And then we have Unholy Abomination 2, the upgraded version. It's a 1, combat hits on a 4. That's double the value of a normal infantry. After this unit is destroyed, roll 1 die. If the result is 6 or greater, place this unit on this card. At the end of your turn, place each unit that is on this card on a planet you control if able. Now, it requires 2 greens. Now, we do start with a green, so if you have a green tech in your slice and you go and activate that, you can pick up Hypermetabolism. I think Hypermetabolism is a really good choice with these guys. You pick it up. If you got green skip, boom, you're there. You know, don't bother with Daxiv or whatever. Just go straight to Hypermetabolism. And now, with these guys here, where are you looking at? You're looking at getting set up for Unholy Abomination 2. Now, the problem with it, if we go back to their faction sheet here, where are we looking at there? It is a cost of 1. So what do you notice? Well, if we look at the fighters, right? We look at the fighters. You're getting a cost of 1 for 2. With the Unholy Abomination, you're only getting 1 of them. Normally, you get 2 infantry. So normally, infantry, you're not hitting very well with them, but you get 2 of them. So it's double the HP. These guys, not so much. That's dangerous. Look, they're not producing as many infantry. Their infantry are better, but they're not producing that many of them. So that's the trade-off. That's the trade-off. So would I go in that direction? Look, I think Hypermetabolism, if you can get it first round, if you can just tech skip up, boom, you're there. You get Hypermetabolism first round. You're basically getting 5 or 6 command tokens extra in the game. If it goes 6 turns, for example, you're getting 6. Yeah, no, you're already there. Maybe you go Unholy Abomination. I would probably more lean into Cruiser 2. And I would probably lean more into getting some movement with blue tech, right? Blue being propulsion. I would probably go in that direction. I'd also probably lean more into PDS2. I think PDS2 is a better investment. I think there's a lot of better stuff that you could do than this. The ability to bring these guys back out on a planet you control, though, instead of producing them, say, in your home system, that's pretty powerful, though. So let me know what you think. I think their infantry is not the most powerful. I think requiring 2 greens, even though you start with a green, is kind of tough because you're basically saying, like, if we're going in that direction, we have to have a green skip because we're only, other than neuro, we're only going to want hypermetabolism. So that's like, we're not going X89 or that sort of route. We go neuro hyper, then maybe we pick up those guys. I don't know. I'm probably still going cruiser first. I'm probably going PDS first. I'm probably going dark energy first. Like, there's a lot of stuff. We could go scan link. There's a lot of stuff that we could do there. So let's move on to the flagship. The Reprocessor Alpha. It's a cost of 8. Hits on a 9 times 2. So that's pretty bad. Movement 1. Capacity 6. That's pretty good. Ability, sustain damage. After you win a combat in the system, you may take one of your opponent's action cards at random. That has real big Asaro vibes going on there. I like that. Okay, that faction ability is cool. I already said I really dig action cards. That actually makes, like, this ship, the Reprocessor Alpha, even though its combat is terrible, just that is such a trolley move. Like, imagine you go in there and you manage to snatch from them an Imperial Rider or something. Oh man, how much would that grind their gears? I mean, even if you don't destroy any of their ships, even if they destroy your capital ship there, your flagship, you take a rider or something, you take something really good from them, and it's at random. So they're not handing you like the worst thing they have. You're potentially taking the best thing they have. I really like that. It's a great way to mess with people. Again, these guys are wacky. I think it kind of blends in with their chaos factor. I really like that. That's a really cool flagship ability. Let's look at the mech. The mech is the Revenant. At the start of each ground combat, if this planet contains no more than one of your mechs, repair this unit. It has sustained damage, of course. It's a 2 hits on 6, 2 cost hits on 6. Okay, that's normal. Look, that's got like some Duranium energy going on. I like it. You spread these guys out, don't keep them all on one planet, and boom, you stack up your infantry instead. No, that's cool. That's cool. I like it. It's cool. It's different. Let's look at their leader suite. We've got Scott Unit X12, the Watcher. He starts with you. Already unlocked at the beginning of the game. The ability is when a player discards or purges an action card, you may exhaust this card to allow that player to draw one action card. So every time I would use this on me personally. I would use it on me. I want the action cards. Every time you purge or discard, do your faction ability there, you get a free action card. So we talked about earlier how you're discarding stuff. Well, guess what? This counters for that. So you're pruning. It's like a sorrow. You're pruning your available suite of action cards available to you. You're not getting a bunch of them, but you're pruning it so that the ones that you do have are very potent. Now, a sorrow, I'm going to say here, if you're in a game with a sorrow and you're playing as the Savages of Cymiae, oh, that's going to be chaos because they can take stuff from you. They can look at yours. You're pruning and they're pruning. You can take stuff from them with the flagship, but they're going to be able to take more stuff from you with their other abilities. I would say this faction's main enemy to watch out for is going to be the Asarl tribes because they have the ability to really undermine your pruning ability and take from you everything that you've been working towards. Now, if you're playing with Discordant Stars and you're playing with Prophecy Kings and you're playing with the base 4th edition, you're going to have like almost 60 factions to choose from. The odds that Savages and Asarl are both going to be in the same game are pretty small, right? It's pretty small. Even if you got 8 players, the odds are pretty small. People are going to be picking other factions. But if somebody's already picked a Sorrel and it's your turn and you're up to pick a faction, maybe don't pick these guys. Even if you were really wanting to play as them, maybe wait for the next game and hope somebody else hasn't chosen a Sorrel. Because if a Sorrel comes along and you're fighting with them and they come in and take your stuff, they take your good action cards that you've been working towards, all of your engine just goes into serving them. And I would say that undermines you tremendously. So just don't pick the Savages if you're up against the Sorrel tribes. That's it. That's it. If somebody else has picked the Savages and they've gone before you and you're up to pick factions and you're playing with all the 58 or some odd factions available as me and my buddies are going to be doing, well, guess what? You really want to troll them. You really want to be like, oh, well, you picked the slice I wanted or whatever, and or whatnot, and now you're these guys, or me, I want to play as the Savages, and then you pick them first. Okay, I'm just going to pick the Sorrel tribe. So now they're in trouble. Now they're in trouble because even if you're on the other end of the galaxy from them, they can go in and do some stuff with your action cards and take your good stuff. That's going to be a problem. So if a Sorrel is in the game and you're playing as Savages, like there's a really good argument to be made that, especially if they're close to you, just destroy them, wipe them out from the game, wipe out their home system, wipe out their ships, destroy them completely. Because the longer it goes on, the more you're pruning, the more they take stuff from you potentially with their faction text and everything. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a big problem. Your key thing is the action cards. Their key thing is the action cards. They're better at action cards, and they're better at taking your action cards than you are at taking their action cards. They're going to win that. So you need to destroy them in the space. You need to destroy them on the ground. You need to go savage mode if you're going to play these guys against the Sorrel. I think Asarl's like these guys' greatest weakness. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think they got other problems to watch out for, I think Asarl is their kryptonite personally. And I'll tell you this: somebody else is picking Savages, and I want to troll them. I'm going to Asarl tribes. I mean, if they didn't pick Savages, I might pick Asarl tribes. I really like Asarl tribes, so they're a lot of fun. So I think they're like an S tier faction as it is. If savages are in the game, all the more reason to pick a Sorrel tribe. So let's take a look at their commander. Coral Ferex, the third voice, have 10 or more infantry on the game board. So yeah, you want to spam out your infantry there, right? But again, you're not producing 5 for 10. You got to produce 10, right? So that's cost of 10. So that's going to take some time. After you gain control of a planet during a tactical action, you may discard one action card to place or move one mech onto that planet. Discarding an action card? I don't know. I don't think this is the most powerful thing. I think it's expensive to get. I understand you want to get out a lot of infantry, right? You're going to be doing it anyway. Yeah, you might unlock this guy in round 2. You might unlock this guy in round 3, depending on how you play the game. You still got to discard an action card, and it's to place a mech. But an action card's probably worth more than the cost of a mech to me. I don't know. I don't like that commander very much. I think that commander is kind of weak. Let me know what you think, though. Hero, the Voice United, Psionic Maelstrom, have 3 scored objectives to unlock. The Scream, Symphony of Agony. Action, draw and reveal a number of action cards from the action card deck, equal to 1 more than the number of players in the game. That's including you, by the way. It doesn't say that, but that's including you, right? It's like with Argent, you get extra votes. That also includes you. That extra vote includes you. So if you're in a game with 8 people, you're getting 9 action cards out of this. Typical game, you're in 5 or 6, you're getting maybe 7 action cards out of this. Very powerful. You're getting a full hand of action cards, right? Now, you're not a Sorrel. You have a hand limit of action cards. So if you're drawing 7, you're going to have to discard everything, basically, right? But you're pruning it. You're getting the best of the best. So that's cool. That's cool. Draw and reveal a number of action cards from the action card deck, equal to 1 more than the number of players in the game. Give 1 to each other player in the game and keep the rest. Each other player must discard 1 action card. Okay, so yeah, just so we're clear here, I've looked through this faction before. I missed that the first time. I'm just reading it now. Yeah, no, you're giving 1 to each player in the game and keep the rest. So you would keep then 2. They have to discard an action card, though. Give 1 to each other player in the game and keep the rest. Each other player must discard an action card. So, like, you're giving people, like, the worst, basically, and then they have to discard 1. That's not the most powerful hero, actually. You're only getting a net of 2 out of that, I believe. Then purchase card. Not the most powerful thing. All in all, I see them getting a moderate rating. I understand it because it's kind of complicated. But they're not moderate in the sense that if you know what you're doing, you can really win big with them. Like the Kalduri Trade Confederation, for example, I actually think these guys aren't as strong as they look. I think they look wacky. I think a lot of their stuff is kind of wacky. I really like the action card angle of it. I would consider playing these guys just because I've already done a Sorrel Tribes and we mix it up. But I don't think they're as powerful as the Sorrel Tribes. I think the Unholy Abomination is not as good as it could be. I understand that they're trying to balance it out and everything. I say my favorite part of this faction, apart from their faction ability, has to be their flagship. I think their flagship is Trolley. You don't send in their flagship to go and win fights. You send in their flagship to mess with people. They have a chaos factor to them. Are you going to be winning the game? Probably not. Are you going to be making people kind of mad? Maybe. Is it going to be fun? Yeah, I could see having a lot of fun with these guys. They're not S tier, though. We'll rank all these guys in the end once we've done all these guides. But look, these guys they're wacky. They have chaos energy. They have a sorrel energy to them. But in a way, they're kind of a poor savages of sorrel. So, I don't know. Can you win bigly with them? Maybe. And if you won bigly with them, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested in hearing about it. Let me know your thoughts, what tech trees you go down. Personally, I already said I would go green, red, yellow, get Cruiser 2. I'd then go in PDS 2 direction and then move into blue probably with these guys. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I want to get their flagship out though, just to mess with people. I want those action cards, right? That's really cool. So, and when I say you're not sending it in to win, you do need to win the combat, just so we're clear. I mean, we're sending it in with dreadnoughts. We're sending it in with heavy hitters. That's not a heavy hitter. You might get lucky. You might get, you know, 2 dice rolls that work out for you and you get a 9 and a 10. Probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen. What's probably going to happen most of the time, you miss both. But you send it in with some fighters. You send it in with destroyers. You send it in with dreads. You send it in with stuff that can hit hard. And boom, if you win that combat, you're taking their action card. You want to be really trolly about it? Say there's Imperium in the game and they've got one destroyer out there to claim I don't know what do they call those things? The frontier tokens. So they've just got one out there with no defenses or anything. You go in with this in a fleet and you destroy it big, right? Even if you mess with the flagship, you just destroy it. It's not going to hit that much on you. Now you're stealing one of their action cards. That's really cool. That's really cool. And again, it's at random. They don't get to choose it. You don't get to choose it, but they don't get to choose it. That's really good. That's really good. I think these guys are cool. Would they be my first pick? Probably not. If Asarl's in the game, they're probably my last pick. So just keeping it real there. But I do think they're wacky. I like their energy. So let me know what you think. Be sure to follow me on X at KevinCastley. Be sure to follow me on YouTube main channel Superpower Broadcasting. Subscribe here if you haven't done so yet. Like, we do a lot of gaming videos and stuff. We got Pokemon, we got DEF CON, we're getting Civilization going, we're doing Twilight Imperium stuff. We're gonna do a lot of games, right? Thinking about getting to deliver us Mars, getting some of that content going, right? We got streams, we got videos, we do Fortnite, lots of cool stuff here, right? And be sure and check me out on patreon.com/superpowerbroadcasting if you want to support what I do. So with that, thank you, and I will see you in the next video. So take care and stay based.